Tensions rising overseas. Less than 48 hours ago, North Korea implemented a test launch of 4 ballistic missiles, 3 of them landing nearly 200 miles off the coast of Japan. Washington now setting up U.S. missile launchers and a missile defense system in South Korea to counter threats. China pushing back, saying they will take necessary measures to protect their country. Washington says the move is not meant to be a threat to Beijing or Moscow. John Bolton, the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations and Fox News contributor, joins us now. Ambassador, good to see you today.
Glad to be with you.
Okay, so we have the saber rattling by North Korea. Not to be surprising. I mean, anytime, especially there's a change in power here or something significant going on in the U.S., they seem to need some attention. Now, they're blaming the U.S.-South Korea joint exercises that we're having in the region as the cause for their action. Your response?
Well, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. Every year they complain about it. I mean, let's look at the reality here. For 25 years, North Korea has been pursuing deliverable nuclear weapons. And for 25 years, in Republican and Democratic administrations alike, we've been trying to negotiate them out of that program, which has failed. So now we're at the point where the commander of U.S. Forces Korea estimates that North Korea is very close to miniaturizing a warhead, putting it on an intercontinental ballistic missile that could hit the west coast of the United States very shortly. These missile tests that North Korea conducted in the past few days, they have said were potentially aimed or could be aimed at U.S. forces in South Korea and Japan. So South Korea, Japan, and the United States are quite rightly worried that this erratic, unstable regime in North Korea that has detonated 5 nuclear weapons can be a threat now to South Korea, which South Korea's population increasingly understands. And what are we doing? What provocative act are we taking? We're just adding another layer of missile defense to protect our forces and South Korean civilians. That is not provocative at all.
Well, and it's got the word defense in it, so to my mind, not being an expert, but this THAAD anti-missile defense system sounds like something that we know the parts are there. South Korea is going to get it set up. It's going into place. The U.S. has supplied that. But China says it's a threat to them. If it is a protection against incoming missiles, how is it a threat to China? I mean, can they characterize that in some way we could use this machinery to indeed, encroach on their territory, or is it nothing more than just posturing?
Well, it's outrageous what China's saying. Number one, there are already missile defense capabilities in South Korea. The Army's Patriot system, the Navy has Aegis warships in the region. This is another better, more sophisticated, more capable missile defense. But understand what China says when they contend that the deployment of missile defense is provocative. They're saying you have no right to defend yourselves against North Korean or Chinese missiles. I mean, let the American people, South Korean people, Japanese people understand that. This is why, frankly, we need in the Obama administration to return to the Bush-era concept of national missile defense for the United States. It's our innocent civilians that are vulnerable to this highly erratic leadership in North Korea, not to mention the Ayatollahs in Tehran, who can get everything the North Koreans have simply by a wire transfer to their accounts.